him on the side of the road. I like this movie. I know it's just a brief credit sequence, but I don't know. I got something laughs out of that. Giant and young man. Later in the movie, remember to the chosen one. Wait. From town to town, picking up there. Like stars. That's what they got to do more than making gun doing hairstyling. Usually get that big a laugh, but whenever they do something that legit looks like a cheap effect out of a martial arts movie, that gets me. I'm liking this movie so far. I'm not spraying her his names. This has been a similar release to D5 for the live plot of this movie and unexpected, which is a hard style to make universally funny because everyone's gonna have different expectations and tolerance for certain jokes. That's I'm not involved in this. Like, I know that's not universally funny. But that's part of what makes it perfect. You know, there's a small group of people that would laugh at something so stupid, yet also imagine it. So you can show them more of a connection to it because you know not everyone has the same opinion. As if it's taking the bridge on a joke not as many people would like, but man, for what they do, they're gonna love the hell out of it. They've never heard it. There's a ton of jokes in The Simpsons I laugh at, and acknowledge are better put together, but you forget it right after you see it. I am never gonna forgive this goddamn thing. I mean, overshots. Overshots and kicking out everybody dies. He literally fucks the fame. Eating too much. And we have to put into the movie that did her. It's time to think to myself, I'm not like this okay. It's not about you guys. That's what they try to do more than making gun doing hairstyling. Usually get that big a laugh, but whenever they do something that legit looks like a cheap effect out of a martial arts movie, that gets me. Too. Shit, the movie that's right. I'm liking this movie so far. I'm not spraying critics' names. This has that similar Reddit 55 where the live plot of the movie is silly and unexpected, which is a hard style to make universally funny because everyone's gonna have different expectations and tolerance for the jokes.
Okay,
I'm going to have fun with this.
I'm going to take my time with you.
Get ready, fight! Like, I know that's not universally funny, but that's part of what makes it universally funny. You know, there's a small group of people that would laugh at something so stupid, yet also imagine it. You chose the connection to it because you know not everyone has the same opinion. Yes, it's taking a bridge on a joke not like, but man, what they do, they're gonna love the hell out of it and never forget it. There's a ton of jokes in The Simpsons I laugh at, and acknowledge are better put together, but forget it right after you see it. I am never gonna forget this goddamn thing. I still returns. He died. He literally fucked the fame. Eating too much. And he mentioned earlier. I'm something to mention.
The female tango stands supreme.
Hey, hey. I don't know.
No way. Time for some entertainment.
Let me give you a bunch of products. Master of the Senate needs the chosen one. And he has a face on his tongue, and I don't know, it must be chosen one. I don't like this. So, get ready, fight! Done doing hairstyling. Usually get that big a laugh, but whenever they do something that legit looks like a cheap effect out of a martial arts movie, that gets me really confused. liking this movie so far? I'm not surprised critics did. This has that similar Reddit spooky vibe where it relies a lot on
Don't get too worked up.
Time for some entertainment. Universally funny because everyone's gonna have different expectations. That's it. I'm gonna have to call this.
How's that?
That's not universally funny.
How's that?
But that's part of what makes it universally funny.
How's that?
People that would laugh at something so stupid, yet also ready to fight. So this show is more of a connection with you. Not everyone has to be patient. Yes, it's risk on a joke not as many people would like, but man, once I do, they're gonna love the hell out of it and never forget. There's the kind of jokes in The Simpsons I laugh at, and talents are better put together, but forget it right after the deal. I am never gonna forget this goddamn thing. I know for just shots and taking out everybody's eye. He literally lost the fame.
Finished already?
He ate too much.
How unsatisfying.
That's the movie mentioned earlier. I guess I want to think to myself, I like this okay even before the other film. Well, shall we? Just like using it back.
Time for some
Let's
entertainment.
make it a little clearer. Hey.
Careful.
I did a bunch of plot extra forgot to put it 2 scenes earlier. Master Masterpiece that shows him what? If he has a face on his tongue and I don't know, must be choking women. They don't like this kid. Yes, purposely tricked you. As you joke, sometimes the audio edge of the video is so poorly done that part of it. Like all that has to be done here is he has to confront as he gets out of bed. But we get there. Okay, I'll have to. So let's get back to the point. Well, no. But he can he has a video. We're glad of it. No,
Finished already? How
we're glad of it.
unsatisfying.
No, there is. Receiving the fist of terror. Now receive the
Ready to face your fate?
Prepare the long
I'm going to take my time with you.
Get ready?
Take a trace from its true back to the theater of the sports. One was jealous of the chosen one, the chosen one, and hates their life like you said.
My man too, you know.
My voice gets smoking, and I do too. I like to, whether it's not only agree this band's 70s effect, but, agree to the bad movie fast effect. It looks like it's reminded for him to have everybody knows it should be white and blurry like Madonna. But this guy doesn't know. This is the disguise of the white guy in the movie. And that's not just after nothing makes me want to see an image
The female tango stands supreme.
They call it the Ken Dolphin.
Yeah! Showtime! I'm going to take my time with
It's
you.
no opportunity. He should have sounded like...
Punishment.
I think that's right.
What? Yes. When you cross an owl with a punching ball.
I am. He has the same abilities as Master P. More than easy to predict, but I do with simple protection. But you did think about it for a second. Die. To the one guy, very specific fantasy has finally come turn. After
Time for some entertainment.
what is my watch?
I'm going to take my time with you.
Get ready.
It's all freaking game attack. Wow. Let me know. The sponsorship of all time. God, it's a basement now. Did you know that even if you have a 401k for retirement, you can still have an IRA? Robinhood has the only IRA that gives you a 3% boost on every dollar you contribute when you subscribe to Robinhood. So get this. Now, through April 30th, Robinhood is even boosting every single dollar you transfer in. Says he still has a lot. Excited to see what goes. Oh, see it.
Finished already? How unsatisfying.
While playing MC Hammer. Even my Chris humor is pretty weak.
I don't want to hurt you,
Seem to fight
but I
so
will.
easy. Just let him go.
I'm going to take my time
I
with
am
you.
straight in there. That when I was talking, makes it very hard. And on this. That was towards the cow, but let's see if this is longer than it was. It's still pretty stupid. There is an idea here, like maybe you wait for a bit of time, and then when it turns out to be the cow, just walk right into the even let build up and like you can argue this kind of point, but not that any ramps here. Really, get a chuckle out of me and what the hell this whole like real person doing comes with just the cow. Won't they let it
My deception
years to learn the discipline of martial art.
of creation!
Basic effects, the silly expressions on his face, the lame CGI, make him feel thrown out of his strength. I guess it serves as the main visual of the movie the same way that tap dancing did for Young Frankenstein, but this feels less like an homage to Brooks and more like an homage to Nicholas Lawrence. It's just not my thing. Benny deflates the cow, and he meets up with Master Benny, revealing that he was the child he tried to kill off years ago. You mustn't. Who are you? Please, father. Okay, I know I gave that cow scene. That took a lot of time to film, a ton of flags, and I'm laughing at. But I'm sorry, you can't see the whole way. Comedy for that. Neither can I, but it made me laugh at that. Like that. And in his game, only to discover Lee's father is also the chosen one master's master. Yeah, that wasn't hard to say. Or not every joke. No. I almost put that. Father ends up dying, and it's my favorite moment. They can't think of what else to have Lee say, so they literally just have her quack. Sometimes I am in like this movie. They end up doing it. I think I'm gonna really go. I like to call it the positive innovation. That honestly has been done several times by the point. It just didn't appear against Paul in this film without it build-up whatsoever. Such bad effect is enough to give me this finger at. For me, this is the Cosby stuff, right? Well, there's also a charm to the fact that they created their own bad editing. This.
I am a great magician.
Wow. Then he attacks the chosen one master again. Time to picking up pet rings. It's out of it by reversing them. Okay, little dog too. There's so many deaths you never see so much of the footage that it goes around in a circle and it ends up bringing a back luck. It gets funny again for me, it scared me there for a minute. It's hard to get revenge on Betty. Eating up, evil couch.
Whoa. Still out of town, yeah.
This movie does a little weird. Or whatever that is. What it is, and it looks like out getting up.
I'll pick up that.
That's a lot of time. Predominantly returns to his final home. He goes to fight that. He has to use the salt joke again. No, seriously, why? This is your turn it off and on again, Joe. He comes to this triangle symbol, and so many people count.
Alien.
Okay. It tracks, and I didn't see it coming. No, all of them is different. Here it is, they work. To defeat the alien, to be Dick in that, and he ends up stopping Betty.
Your son Christian body helped absorb the force of his blood.
Now that is the symbol of the movie. I want to see the film with that. We flashed him again, and we're going to preview for the next adventure. And that was Compound, and I don't know if I did my hair coming in this morning, but this was pretty funny. Again, I can't pretend like I don't understand his negative reviews. These jokes are very second grade, and honestly, I think there's maybe a third of them that don't work at all. Still, two-thirds of the jokes that do work, and not only do they work, but they're really surreal to imagine, and combined with that same kind of humor college kids have when they redouble martial arts. Honestly, I feel like this film just came out as a movie now. I think it would have been right at home with the YouTube generation or even late 2000s. There's sporadic immaturity to it that's either going to make you laugh or it's not, and I would understand. But if you got a little high, the company and provide the dialogue with your friends, then this movie is great. If you've never done that, then I'm sorry. That's just not living, and it's sad that you wait your life. Like how the rest of the movie is just ridiculous and very funny. Wonderful. Not on this down. And remember to you know that.
Okay, ready anytime.
This month for Cameos for Charity, we're doing the Center for Victims. I've done this a couple times, and there's a reason. I literally don't think of anything being used to working for. These are people that have literally gone through the worst things you can imagine. This center. You knew what you married into. Wait, is that the sandbag? No, please. That's my name. Let's climb them all. Glad I called you. I'd like to give it back. No, too late. You're stuck with him now. Best trade I ever made. I'll buy you only just get a bit of it. The 212 is not accepting applicants. Nobody will take
This is Mugen Tenshu.
You have a car? You have a free driving record. You know it, your dad was $39.
You really want to fight this
On my
badly?
track, it's super
We
easy.
settled this.
Leave it alone. Into the different. So the show has but sometimes they really did lay some stinkers in. Yeah, and then just started went down to my routine. So I went with the routine. Why the routine? That's my lucky number. Sorry. No, I need to see some more though. Touch. Roll into this monkey business. Monkey business is my business. Hey, folks, welcome to Spoon Saturdays. Like, subscribe, guys, check out Patreon. Let's do this. Okay, one thing I want to get out of the way. This is pretty my opinion. Some of you make love some of these, and that's totally cool. Different strokes for different folks. If there's any you think should have made the list, let me know down in the comments. Alright, that is out of the way. Let's get to the list. First off, at lucky number 13, we've got It Ain't Over Till the Fat Neighbor Sings. The B-Fly, Piggy, and Bobby played Paul.
I am ready.
Get ready, fight!
Yeah, that's it. The entire episode is being watched and been playing a single game of Paul. Which, quite frankly, looking at its time, ain't exactly the most fun thing in the world. Unless there's money on it.
Get ready, fight!
This is not just a rather forgettable one, but I do like their attempts at commission talking and Peggy sticking to her guns on game pausing.
Alright, let's do this!
We settle this.
Get ready, fight!
Also, when they restarted the game, the mini store, which was English on it the first time, but later the score is shown as 0-0. That's enough winning. One to nothing here. Go for it in luck. Let's go to the Cowboys. Well, we bailed Bill out.
Get ready,
Oh, sorry, I guess there's a middle of your game. It's not that funny. Forgettable, yeah, not a creepy one. And the Bandit. B-Plot taking this out on his for the Smoky Bandit, so he was working at the on a high standard. Price factor. So she was on the Waffle House beat, but she was not a fan of them.
This is Mugen
You're all set
Tenchi.
with your Waffle House beat.
let's see you!
I can't avoid this fight.
Get ready, fight!
And rather than do the job of the best of her ability and, make lemonade with the lemon she's been given, she stayed home and missed out on the tale creating the Smoky Bandits, but she didn't have him at his own home. Wow. Hey, it's not about the time you were eating waffles. This one left. This part of it, and it's why this isn't right.
Get ready, fight!
Yeah, the sign of the best was to get mad at the guy that was actually doing his job and eating waffles when she was supposed to be working, but she's been somewhat humble enough to with his help and how to find a bandit. So the answer is don't exactly what he's looking for. And trying to act late breaking weather, every hour on the hour. They always leave us for television.
I can't avoid this fight.
Get ready, fight! Get ready, fight!
What's your name? So bad. I want to get into the club. They're running anything you can say nothing. The door man, but if it's there, because he said that he's not getting out. And when the door man finally comes to the man, it gets Peggy.
I must go on.
This one was just kind of a waste of what could have been a better beat one. Honestly, had she teamed up with Bob Jenkins on this one, it would have been more entertaining. But she didn't, so this is what we're looking for.
I can't avoid this fight.
The year where she dangerously won, he's trying to figure out what the longer engaged. Oh, yes, kid, there was a time when we had no idea who was calling. We had to answer the phone to find out.
Get ready, fight!
It's not a also, no, telemarketing fish tanks how they did things, mostly by streaming photos. So it is a little bit why.
This is Mugen Tenshi.
Alright, let's go.
And what really ruins this one for me is the fact that there's an easy way to handle this situation, which is to use next words. Maybe I think that's 12 steps or more is worth doing, but seriously, Nancy's right there next door and this can get handled in less than 5 minutes. Instead, Mickey comes up with a foolproof plan to get to the bottom of the fix. This is a new
Get ready, fight!
Should have just done their forehead.
Those are little houses with properly insulated walls. So there's no way that you're going to be able to hear anything from inside. And it's actually even worse to sneak in and against the door. Which the first part is successful in taking them in.
Get ready, fight!
How better use Monday service? AI, self-care, medication. Monday servicing. Once they were in the closet, she makes the call, but to be fair, not a lot of phones like this would have worked because it was too far from the base. But whatever, Joseph that she borrowed the sweater from Becky and had to get it dry clean to give it back. But it's decided to leave the adult here to actually handle the situation by calling Becky back, which doesn't well for the people behind in the closet.
What the hell is my wallet? But my sweater's not in here, Molly. I guess I'll just be taking this until it's her turn.
Just an unnecessary and awkward subplot that doesn't add anything other than showing Peggy to be Peggy and Joseph to be weird. Plus, I'd have rather they just had more of the main plot in there. Finally getting into the top 10, or bottom 10, I suppose. We have number 10, Rain Fever. A plot making a viral video with Bill's oddly worn cowboy hat acts in an interesting way. I say oddly because he never wears cowboy hat. Colin gets the idea that they need to recreate it in order to make a viral video. So he sets up a camera and they try to recreate the hat. And I don't mean the hockey guy. Hey, that was a pretty nice guy. What's the hat still on? Your head's been better now than before. After several failed attempts, Peggy gets involved because what better way is there to make a plot work than introduce Peggy to it? I did not make this list in order to hammer on Peggy. I promise you I didn't. Then she's been in some good plots. The taxidermy one comes to mind, but she tends to get thrown into episodes haphazardly in a form of not-so-great subplots.
This is a video camera. If this turns out as well as Bobby's favorite videos, you are all going to be shocked. It's true. Only Bobby loves to crawl and spiders in the wall. But still, we're just drawing them in.
And we later see just what Peggy created on CV, an obvious nod to YouTube, and yeah, this is terrible. Like, worse than Neil Green terrible, and that's something good. Dear God, that man's movies are horrifically bad. Like,
really
they
wanna
make
fight
the
this
room
badly?
look Oscar-worthy, and this video is worse.
Get ready, fight!
Why on the cockpit?
ready, fight!
Luckily, on its con, he shares his opinion, which is the best part of the entire subplot.
That's terrible! We had so many to the list of things Peggy Hill can't do. Right after cooking and wearing open coat shoes. I never thought I'd say this, but I'm a little...
But Steve and I do meet a few kids with views. They're much happier about the outcome, which, I mean, I get that. I've been there.
That was fun. Somebody else watched it.
Hey, 4 hits! I can survive them!
Come and fight.
This one is just a throwaway story that takes up time together. Like an episode will really be entertaining. To be fair, the game part of it, basket making, okay, vacation wasn't that great either, and can't help it to be fun. Guys making homeless cards. I honestly remember this one exactly. It's pretty forgettable, so yeah, the guys are being crazy, but come by and they're impressed with his cards. So they decide to go ahead and make one of their own. Problem is, when they do, they aren't happy with the looks of it, but it seems they overlook a rather important part, which is the fact that they'll get the conclusion is way too heavy.
Why, never. Well balanced. We're them all. Not very pretty. I mean, it's functional, but personally,
nice to
I would
meet you.
not push the homeless card to look like that.
And even once they admit it, they go over to Spongy. He doesn't want it for pretty obvious reasons.
And while working for murder, I don't think there's any turning on my life. No, this thing is hard.
So, yeah, the only good thing that came out of this was Spongy got his heart. So, and let's not forget that the guys chose to be him.
That's terrifying. Good. Sure, you want something? Yeah, okay.
But not so great game part from a not so great episode. If I needed any more proof of that, it's the fact that it was ridiculously difficult to find a version of it online that wasn't terrible quality. Yeah, that's the best sound quality I could find. I don't know, I just expected better from the idea and from the power. I mean, come on, man. I thought you'd be above eating cat food. But let's move on. Next, number 8, we got Hey Guns Auto. Meanwhile, Dale does everything he can to push Nancy back to John Redcorn.
Is this gonna shrink down? This is huge. What will I tell the aliens? I hope you like this, because if you don't, there's nothing else. Hey, I'm doing the best I can.
So, I love Dale. He's one of the best parts of the show. But Jesus, what was he mad at this being why? Let's start it off with him and then a party, something that he seems to it's never mentioned before.
You guys want to come to my Vernal Equinox party tomorrow?
No.
Before you answer, remember, the Vernal Equinox, when the stars align in the configuration of an arrow pointing to Earth, as if to say, come, visit here. Don't mix this WNBC. Watch live.
All right,
as
let's
rising
go.
stars become reflections.
Showtime!
I'll read a thoughtful essay and free ceremoniously any topic.
By the way, the vernal equinox is just the man's way of saying the start of spring. Confidence for apparently small plates of food that are shared, and it's why he must bring out big parts of fish. And the only way that the volcano planet in any way affects any of us is if it's on a collision course with us immediately. See what everyone chose to skip out and get right.
Oh, it's over this one.
I don't like about this one is that it takes the whole Dale being weird thing and turns it up to 100. They go way too far with it, and this epileptic seizure idiocy here is a perfect example. They also make him an idiot. He ain't the sharpest knife in his drawer already, but he's not this dumb. When Colin's nephew, Colin himself had one about earlier, jumps up and what is obviously a car, which Dale mistakes as being an alien by his spacecraft.
Say so, I hope something stinking This is what y'all, apparently this is probably what y'all voted for this for.
Because again, apparently this episode is completely moron.
What? You sitting there?
I'm going to take my time with you.
Yeah!
Showtime!
Get ready, fight!
It's he notices the clock is set to relative time, also known as the Reborn clock, which is the most commonly used notation in the world. He would know full well when it goes to the rest of the world and it's not a rest of the world. He slips his mind and decides instead that it must be a time machine because again, idiocy.
2048? Make a talk to a military topic. Why would you in the military? Oh my god. That's nothing funny. That's the end. Today is your time traveler.
Bill is knocked unconscious, Bill's body in the middle of the field, leading to Dale waking up and believing that he has traveled to the
I
future.
don't have time to play games with you.
Listen, you
Better not disappoint me.
How far was right? I wonder what ocean all back crawling. No, wait, that's
Stance changes when he gets back to the complete and Bill works on hold for the second episode. The Bill trips the police benefits, so he gets the idea that he needed to go just the other way.
Hey, guys! I wasn't reporting to the future. I was reporting to the past.
He, of course, has to avoid running into himself, so he goes smoking because of the Dale's complete non-lunacy, so as not to push him back into John Redcorn to make him race. Long story short, this happens.
File don't guarantee. Killing for now. Meaning if you're thinking about doing something, they're hesitant for some reason, you should go ahead and do it. Like wearing a crazy hat. You too, John Redcorn. If there's something you're thinking about doing, you might as well do it. Do it now.
Jesus, that is purpose. Dale, that's just smart. watch. He ends up getting it in his head that the world is coming to an end, and nobody will just tell him that he's being an idiot. Fast forward to the end of the episode, and he shows up to stop Nancy from fully getting back together with John Redcorn.
I'm not saying the world is going to end in 35 minutes. Fine. Yes, it did. I know exactly where I want to be. The arms of my trusty wife. Doing a beautiful and blonde trust.
Yeah, this was just Dale acting like a cartoon little buffoon. Like I said earlier, making baseline Dale and cranking it way over the top. It was pretty super disappointing, but this one just took it too far. And that brings us to number 7. There lies a timeshare. What? Baby Bobby and Dale trying to find a swimming pool. This one for me is dumb for no other reason than they could easily drive right on down to the Megalo Mart and buy a decent-sized pool for not much money. You know, you can buy a 10-foot pool from Walmart for $30. That's plenty good for all 3 of them to lie down in. So it's summer in Texas, meaning it's hot. And Eddie and Bobby are sitting out in the yard waiting for the sprinkler to go. Which makes no sense because if you're hot in the summer, you do the smart thing and go inside where there's air conditioning. 19, trust me, my $400 electric bill this summer months could attest to that. But it keeps waiting on a sprinkler to pass by.
Here is my falling. Oh, I think you're sweating like a pig. On my sprinkle tank. That's for amateurs. I'm stocking the big gallon.
$80, $120. Nope, try 30.
I challenge you.
Okay,
Now,
ready anytime.
Change Bobby person inside of everyone. It doesn't make sense. They live in a well-built, well-educated home that's been a good object by name. There is no way air conditioner should be able to keep up. Or air shower that cools off. Again, it's better than a sprinkler. But I got you like this thing on that alley in the backyard of the house is up for sale. And of course, the realtor shows up with a perfected buyer for the show. It's causes them to hide and give the bottom will be an viable option. They try it different. Guys, I can't in the Donna video, so ladies, here you go. Taking that track star physique of Dale Rebel, but this too goes awry.
Sure, you'll regret this. Yeah, I'm here to fight.
Get ready, fight!
They somehow got away with the dogs. I'm not gonna lie, but I would think they could be quite better if they showed them. They make one last attempt to gain access to wait. Well, I think this will be enough.
Unclear. So what do you say? I'm on a swim, neighbor. Neighbor.
So, yeah, this one to me just doesn't make any sense. I've lived through plenty of summers in Texas. It's not hard to find ways to cool off, especially when just staying inside or buying a cheap pool is an option. Number 6, how I learned to stop worrying and love the Alamo.
Yeah, I'm
Flat
here to fight.
Stanley. Now, I had no idea what the hell Flat Stanley was when I saw this episode. I never did that in school, but it sounds like a pretty cool legend. And even talks to maybe for recognizing a talk of it. So when he takes it upon himself to handle Flat Stanley, smart move. He and she starts off well, but he is drops the baby from a good location. It makes sense.
But this story not take any other hybrid thing. It is like Ellis Island.
I shall be your opponent.
Okay, ready anytime.
No, that road, no, you're fine. But he just think he can go down that road.
Wasn't careful. Got correct. I saw it flat. stay fine.
So, yeah, he decides that rather than young small children, he's going to take them to the whole way of the stuff film, which is a little bit funny when it is. I mean, well, loving stuff like scary stories to tell in the dark with the original drawings, but I mean, with the original and a lot of kids can't handle that.
That was a great fight.
She then takes Glenn Stanley to a shooting range to
Let the
use
red
gun
rose
safety
of blood
because
bloom
apparently
forth.
if you don't know that it's
Okay,
bad,
ready
it's shot.
anytime.
Now, I'm pretty sure they already knew that. I'm starting to think that Peggy was taking some kind of pleasure in this.
Like being one of the most important children to die.
Get ready, fight!
Glenn Stanley back together with a combination of staples, big and healthcare perspective. She takes it easy to children. But it's what's vaguely familiar in the way that it's on that it wasn't on up.
That was a great fight.
Yeah, they killed Glenn Stanley in the exact same way that Drew Morrison died in front of both of them and probably in the previous season. Possibly in the exact same
Yeah,
building
I'm here to
and the
fight.
exact same line.
Ready, fight!
Basically taking a group of school children or traumatized, and they went ahead and put it into a great tool for kids to learn about God. Go with them taking like the picking up the situation.
Alright, this feels awesome.
Number 5, in Peggy's last appearance, I swear, Phil's house. B-plot, Peggy learns to ride a bike. Now, many of you already see the issue here. We've already seen her ride a bike
Okay,
while carrying
ready anytime.
That's ended by James. That was not exactly the same. When she drove a motorcycle across the country, she's a rider. Since she knows how to balance a bicycle and a motorcycle, why do you need a running on it? Right? It's a fun one thing. They all accept that.
That was a great fight.
No one can stop me.
Yeah, I'm here to fight.
Get ready, fight! Get ready, fight!
Let's fight again soon, okay?
December, we're in Elon and Quebec, all but swung their buster God, the mighty Alzheimer's civilization of the multifarious elements of the I know, I think it was your lucky that won the day. Stand yourself inside the stop. Don't turn even and burn it all on the side of a skyscraper.
Get ready, fight!
I'm a screw that got put in himself. Help! Just loaded an E-on. Let's run them. Let's keep these. And money is all that matters. And by spending 10 times on broadcast in 2016, when I'm hearing that cat for an old artifice. This camera might plan to have some of my own one day. Ultimate Warrior and Deviante.
大したことないわね。
Not new. All my sense. And it's gonna fly badass.
The thing's still the passion.
修行の成果。見せるわよ。
Less talk, more action!
No, it's not true, man. They were actually released
怪我しても知らないわよ。
years ago. And it's
Get ready, fight!
Florida, nowhere near Como Island. You want the White House, not a Waffle House. Some of the earliest people to cooperate with authorities, not only banning Epstein from his hotel, but handing over evidence they thought he had to change off the ground and it with.
I don't know. There's no place to let it in.
Get ready, fight!
You really want to fight this badly? 修行の成果。はあ、見せるわよ。
Get ready, fight!
いただき。はい。
Slam in an episode we already mentioned, so I'm going to run into writers. You can slam one fight about it. Since then, we already see what's next. Introduce her to Awful. This being part mostly because the writers really messed up with their random continuity knowledge, which I know tends to happen on the show, but not in this extent. When it comes to Peggy, she gives it the old college try.
怪我しても知らないわよ。修行の成果。はあ、見せるわよ。
Get ready, fight!
The worst thing of this being plot, other knows how to ride a bike thing is that by the end of the episode, she still hasn't learned to ride a bike, and Bobby makes her give up.
Bobby, I think today is the day. Sit down, Mom. We need to talk. I think she has to be honest with us. We're going to learn how to ride a bike. But I tell them, so
Something I do point out, they need one kid, they can't get dog right, but only because it makes no sense in continuity. So technically it's our home. And yes, sadly, it's the most worst like it's not a show that's known and praised for its realism. We get Bobby being lost in a life. Overrun by the pheromones, which lead ants to release pheromones, but they don't affect humans, and they still don't zombify us and put us under the spell of the queen. So Bobby doing stuff like he did in Underdark, that he did as a simple thing with those is not at all realistic.
Don't break the bank. With us, just to cover the discovery starting next.
That Bobby is the smartest kid out there. They can think that he is a human nugget quarterback. But just the idea of getting Oliver and Wayne and the world. No, it's funny that he apologizes to his Bobby. Her colony from a dead and them to an existing android. Now, I'm not an expert on anti-danger, but I do research into the reason. They said that in this situation we're going to have the colony guarding the queen. Yeah, that colony will get wiped out by the existing one. The show never shows her the colony immediately. Doesn't matter. He's looking at his table and asking over. She opens it and this person. It's being wanted to keep below that grade. Doesn't mean it's the realist of the show. He's next to zoning out due to getting on with it makes sense. There's that something back here that is so yeah, this one was just weird and now they really know. Number 3 comes forward to me. How many of you honestly remember that Dale worked for their alcohol? Yep, Dale decides his next get rich quick scheme is to sue the Sims for sexual harassment.
They are waiting for a guy in the bed and a flat justice for the back. So the Zooms won't hire me. And when they don't, I'll sue for sex discrimination. It's a brilliant idea.
Dang it, Dale. Did you ever get the brilliant idea to make money through dedication and hard work?
Yeah.
This, however, doesn't work, as even though he had no restaurant or waiting experience, he gets the job anyway. Probably because the manager wasn't an idiot and he knew exactly what Dale was trying to do. Congratulations, you got the job.
What now?
Now, the easy solution here is to hire him as a busboy or stick him in the kitchen, but instead they make him a waiter, so Dale has to go along with his bluff being called.
When they see I'm not quitting, they'll have to fire me. And when they do, I sue for sex discrimination. Yep.
So Dale becomes a waiter, which he's not great at since he does things like stacking plates for aliens on each other to get them to the table, but he makes pretty good money at it, and the waitresses aren't too happy that he's making more than them in tips.
I'm getting bigger tips for being common women just because I'm a man.
We find out later that Dale isn't getting pretty tips because he's a good server, or because he's a guy, but because he's been giving away free food. Also, it bothers me more than it should that Dale is just okay with not working. Took him some time to adjust and give the stakes out.
Hey, Tommy, just my section. How about the if I bring things that don't bring a bun, the chips are incredible.
Giving away free food ends up catching up with him at the end of the episode when he's probably unfortunately left because, you know, giving away free food is kind of frowned upon. But you get nothing. What? You've been giving out potatoes and desserts without bringing them up. So just look down on it while you do that.
Well, while we're looking down on employee stuff, we're also looking down on insurance. Shall we just call it that? Get him, girl!
Get ready, fight!
This was a forgettable subplot in a forgettable episode. The man wallet is just as forgettable. Now, the funny thing is, the other subplot about walking Officer Brown is surprisingly good. But Dale has playthroughs, yeah, that one wasn't so great. Number 2, inspiration for this is secretly due.
Give up.
Get ready, fight!
This one wasn't so. Y'all really good for this
Get ready,
one.
fight!
That's not gonna
That was absolutely awful. We fight. Now for business.
Bill unknowingly has a romance with a 17-year-old. Yeah, that's a thing that happens. And to be fair to Bill, here he was just a boy, so they tried to But when he finds out that the boy doesn't work there, but rather works in a false scenario, so Bill fails to find a little bit behind the bullets.
That was absolutely awful.
Razor is in Buckeye, Arizona. It's the largest city in Arizona by area and is one of the fastest growing cities wise in the country. It's also probably a 16 or 17 hour drive. So it's got a ways to go, but at least make time to talk about fired up about driving to Arizona. You ought to consider your other. What does that happen? Back to New Mexico. Wait, west, often the object of his desire and drive process. Keep in mind that this is a 40-year-old man and a 20-year-old woman. But of course, still doesn't know that, and it's still pretty great.
You're not even worthy of being my toy.
There's no one there, guys, when Bill hears her refer to another customer as honey. Thank God he was never loving Joe Jack.
You're gonna be in for some pain.
And a drive-through speaker and calling the whole thing off.
Get ready, fight!
I would like to point out here that he's using Whataburger in this episode, which is obviously a spin-off of Whataburger. And that's odd because they featured Whataburger on the show many times before. Also, as a Texan, Whataburger is good, but it's also not really fried and fried for late night. I mean, seriously, it's like all I have to do is best odd kid in the Whataburger drive. And honestly, in the steak bigger basket inside of my cheese and Dairy Queen is more what I think of when I think of Texas fast food rather than Whataburger. Bill can't stay away from the drive-thru. He runs his chicken in. Well, figure it.
They Face your fate. Now for business.
Get ready, fight!
They know how to get guy there, and they end up making up after a brief smash. Yeah, it's still creepy.
Get ready, fight!
Across the field here, Bucky figures out that she's as young as she is female, and secret interest, which, yeah, that's the right decision to make there. Hopefully that's truly obvious.
That was absolutely
Now
awful.
we were so young.
Prepare. Give up.
That's
Get ready,
that really didn't even exist. It was way more uncomfortable than money around me. This episode is kind of more than sit for one of the watch, but it's not close as the B-plot. Then we're going to one first thing of the new B-plot, which is keep the B-plot and get stopped around and sexually assaulted by a female police officer. Yeah, when you come back and watch this one, it's actually pretty messed up. Hey, it's full of fights over rubber, all that cheerleader change up from those boys like that. Babies usually may not. Angie started flirting for him with even doing a cheerleading video. She's got it with and oblivious to what's really going on.
I got a backup 50%.
That was absolutely awful.
Oh, I'm sure you're still funny like she's a little warning because she said she went with Hank figures out later on. Hank figures this now back to her old hiding spot in order to get the ticket that he deserves. Still right. You left me on. I think I need more left on the trip. Yeah, I'd like that ticket. Cheesy is and flirty, and when they're by a call coming in, she gives him the ticket that she thinks he's really there here.
get ready, fight!
I thank you for your professionalism. Yeah, you're pretty close number. And what's worse is that since she got a look at a driver's license, she knows his address, and so she starts randomly showing up. First night, she told me the guy would get rid of him. Yeah, she told me we're not done with dead.
You have no business fighting her.
And when they try to get her to back off, she doesn't let go for an answer. And seriously, here, if you don't see an issue with a cop giving out their phone number, then go into the house and something they pull over, flirt with them, reverse the sexist, and I'll bet you stick a different too. There's some here to know. My wife is going to be home any minute.
Do you know which route she's taking? Because I could easily set up a roadblock.
Okay, man.
Well, thank you all for watching.
I'll take it further next. Bye, Timothy.
She shows up